Students get blocked for violation of school policy, accessing things they're not supposed to, using services like BetterNet, VPNs, proxies, things like that. VPN is not illegal. It's against school policy to use VPN to circumvent our content filtering service. VPNs are used in the business world to access resources like when you're traveling and things like that. So, if you find yourself blocked from the Wi-Fi for violation of school policy, just see Mr. Morris, and Mr. Morris will get with me and we'll talk about what happened and get you unblocked. That's something that I've kind of struggled with throughout my career, is just blocking anything in general. I think that we should teach our students to be responsible when they use the internet and social media specifically. I kind of feel like if you block stuff, then kids don't get the opportunity to experiment with it and see how they could use it to help with the educational process. However, it's so hard to police that we just kind of have to do a one-size-fits-all solution and just block it. I do think there's going to come a time where social media is used pretty consistently in the educational process and it's not blocked. But I don't know when that's going to happen or if it will, even while you guys are in school. But that's the future, I think, of things. Social media being used in the educational process. Technically, students have your own Wi-Fi. Students should be using the guest network. If there's something that you need access to that you do not have access to on the guest network, let your teacher know, and then your teacher will let me know and we'll get it unblocked. Students can connect to that guest network and access anything that's approved. There's even a little URL exemption at the bottom of the page that comes up when things are blocked. You can fill that out and submit it. Let your teacher know you did that, and then your teacher will let me know, and I'll make sure it gets unblocked. So it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing for us to make sure that we're complying with SIPA, which is the federal mandated guidelines that we have to follow to make sure that we're keeping the learning environment online safe for our students. To do that, we just have to block a lot of stuff. There's keywords that can be picked up by our content filtering, like sex or guns or bomb or something like that. And if that word is contained in that web page anywhere, there's a good chance that it's going to get blocked. It's something that we can override. So if there's something you need access to for a class, you just need to let your teacher know that you can't, and then your teacher will let us know, and we'll get it unblocked for you. There was a point in time where we had, they call them range extenders or cell phone boosters, and we had one of those in the building, and it got too expensive to manage that, so we had to drop that. I think maybe as technology progresses and gets better and better, eventually I think we'll have better cell phone service in the building, but for now there's probably no way we can do that. So on the guest network, we have the Wi-Fi set to a specific rate, so it doesn't interfere with the student network that's used on the Chromebooks for testing. We were running into situations when everything was wide open, where we've got roughly how many high schoolers? 400, but we had 400 high schoolers connected to the student Wi-Fi on their cell phones or their iPads, and it was affecting testing. So what we had to do is get the students' personally owned devices off of the student network, put them on a guest network, and limit the amount of bandwidth available. That way there was more bandwidth available for testing. Well, there was a point in time early in the year when students were using the staff, which is against the rules. So what we had to do is we had to identify who they were, blacklist them, so that they weren't able to connect to the staff Wi-Fi anymore. And then after they did that, it put them on a blacklist where even if they knew the password for the network, they weren't able to connect. Again, students should be using the guest network. The guest network, there is no password for that. And the student network is just for school-owned equipment like Chromebooks and iPads.